Welcome to Living the Smarter Science is Slim, where we provide a scientifically proven lifestyle for long-term health and fat loss by eating more and exercising less, but smarter.
Eat smarter, exercise smarter, live better. I am so ready for that.
Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Bailor.
And my voice has changed dramatically.
Over there, and this is Carrie Brown.
Yes, we are back in action with the Smarter Science of Slim podcast. Carrie, how are you doing?
Well, I think we're a little bit out of practice, so...
Carrie, I don't think we can be out of practice because this is just second nature at this point. We're living the Smarter Science of Slim. You don't need to practice. You don't need to practice that. We're just having fun.
All right.
Carrie and I have been out of commission from podcasting for a little bit because I left, but I didn't leave for bad reasons. I left for a good reason. I went on the low carb cruise.
Woohoo!
And that was fun. Would you like?
It looked fun from your pictures.
It was very fun.
Well, the ones that you've let us see.
Yeah, it was a wonderful group of people, about 175 folks. We went on Carnival Cruise Lines, and the boat didn't lose electricity. And
it didn't sing.
It didn't sing, so that was good. And it was sanity abounded. Actually, we ate more but smarter. Man, we ate lots. In fact, there's some stories about how much second supper. My wife Angela, and I had second supper almost every night, and we became somewhat infamous for the amount of food we were consuming. So,
good job, sir.
It was
gold star for Jonathan and Angela.
It was quite lovely, and there were some excellent speakers. Got to meet a bunch of really cool people. And, met Jimmy Moore, which was awesome. Jimmy's the man. He was the MC of it, and super positive, inspirational guy. It was wonderful to meet him, and met a bunch of other really neat people. So it was cool.
Sounds like a great week.
Absolutely. If I honestly cannot, there was no money exchanged for the cruise. In fact, actually, the only money exchange was me to Carnival Cruise Lines. But I would.
Some catch.
There was, yes, but I would highly recommend, folks, if you need a vacation. I'm almost certain they're doing it again next year. And the thing that my wife and I really liked about it, we'd never been on a cruise as adults, and we generally like just relaxing vacations, like vacations where you don't really have to do anything, and we like our autonomy on vacations. But this cruise showed us almost a best of both worlds kind of thing. One, there's seminars, like I gave a talk, a bunch of other wonderful people spoke, and you could go to that if you're on the quote-unquote part of the low-carb cruise, or you don't have to. So you have this group of people that you can hang out with, and you have these activities that you can do, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So the option's there. So that's cool. So you can just chill out, or you can learn and network and just talk to people. If you want to sit alone at dinner, you totally can. If you don't want to,
that'd be me.
You can say,
and there's Carrie Brown over in the corner.
But so you've got the options there, and then also in terms of just vegging out, you could of course chill on the boat. But then we stopped at various ports. You could walk around, go back on the boat. So it was cool because you could just chill out, be alone, or you could be with the group. It was a little of all worlds. I really couldn't think of a nicer vacation. So it was quite. So here to the Low Carb Cruise Organizational Board, which I know Jimmy leads up. So thank you, Mr. Jimmy Moore. And folks, if you're not familiar with Jimmy, he is the host of many, many podcasts, most notably the Live and La Vida Low Carb Show. Please check that out. Check out Jimmy, support him. He's an awesome guy. So it was fun.
That sounds great.
I
almost
want to
go.
I
only have one issue.
What's that?
It's on a boat.
You don't. Well, you actually. So we didn't. Again, we had that fear too, Carrie. But though the boat, I believe, had capacity for 3,600 people, and you really, if no one ever told you were on a boat, and you stayed on the lower cabins, you would not really know you were on a boat, because it wasn't. It's like a floating city. It's not just getting tossed around. I don't know. We didn't even really. There was one day when we were coming back, I think because the boat is driving faster, when you could even tell, but it was never really an issue. So
I might take a bit more convincing than that. Just the thought, because I don't swim. Just the thought of being out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, surrounded by 5 gazillion, trillion, million, billion gallons of water. Yeah.
Well, encouragingly enough, and then we'll start talking about food and exercise, folks, sorry, is the lifeboats are now these super elaborate things. They look like spaceships. Like, they don't look like boats. They're fully encapsulated.
Oh, they're like pods?
Yeah, they're pods. So we were kind of like, that's actually kind of nice.
So actually, if I got nervous, I could just go sleep in a pod for a night and
No, I mean,
better.
they were very I mean, they were not lifeboats. They were more like floating life pods. They were pretty cool. But hopefully no one will ever have to actually experience those. But it was fun. So
Good. I'm glad you had a good time.
low carb cruise, highly recommend it. If you want a saner vacation, it is definitely a good option.
Yay.
Yay!
Love options.
Speaking of options, Carrie, that was a great segue. I don't even think you realized.
It's magical.
That's how it is. When Jonathan Bailor and Carrie Brown get together,
It's just magical.
I speak in the third person, and Carrie just knows what's going on. So, Carrie, one thing I wanted to talk about, because it has come up in a couple of our guest podcasts, and there's just been some talk about it in the lovely Smarter Science of Slim support group recently, and that is being sane while being a vegetarian or a vegan. And I want to give a high-level response to this, and then let's just talk about it a little bit. And the high-level response is that sanity, remember, it's just a framework. It's just saying eat satisfying, unaggressive, nutritious, and inefficient foods, or eat the most satisfying, unaggressive, nutritious, and inefficient foods from whatever set of foods you choose to eat.
Right.
So if you are low carb, you could be low carb and you could be sane low carb. If you're vegan, you could be sane vegan. If you're vegetarian, you could be sane vegetarian. If you're South Beach, you could be sane South Beach. If you're sane kosher, halal, whatever. It's not a mutually exclusive thing. It is a framework that helps us to optimize the quality of however we choose to eat. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
And in fact, some of the most compelling success stories we've seen on the Smarter Science of Slim are individuals who do choose to live a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle, because oftentimes if you're not given the opportunity to dig a little deeper and your diet becomes super starch and sugar heavy because you eliminate all animal products, applying the same framework to that, which then incorporates more fruits, more non-starchy vegetables, more nuts and seeds, more natural plant-based fats, can cause really compelling changes in health. So start incorporating amino acid supplements, start incorporating healthy plant proteins such as like hemp, and you get some pretty compelling health benefits. So it's all good.
It's all good.
And Carrie, I heard you were actually thinking about becoming a vegetarian. Is that true? No.
You were on that boat too long,
Yes,
Bailor.
I got sun burnt my brain.
Oh, so today's post on my blog was how to cook a pork chop. So what do you think, Jonathan?
Actually, speaking of meat, there was quite a breakthrough, and I'm not going to plug the company yet because I'm still kind of chatting with them about how we want to do that. But I found this company online, and I think they're somewhere in the Midwest, and it's a ranch that was started by a veterinarian, and they do like super hormone-free, grass-fed, free-range, no antibiotic cattle ranching. And the cool thing, though, Carrie, is that they ship all across the country. And we were kind of like getting meat shipped to us. Is that going to be expensive? Whatever. Actually, no, not at all. We order it on a Monday. It comes to us on a Friday. It comes with dry ice. The meat is literally frozen when it arrives on our doorstep. And here's the cool thing, and this is going to make you super happy. And when my parents come up in a couple of weeks, you're going to have to help us with this. Do you know what you can get for freaking $5 a pound? Really not expensive.
Liver.
Organic grass-fed beef liver.
Yes.
No hormones, no antibiotics. Carrie, this stuff is the most sane substance you will probably ever find on this earth.
Yes. Order me some. I want some. I want in on the liver.
It is, folks, and this is literal. This is true. So my wife, we don't just eat it straight because it has a very unique taste, and I'm sure Carrie could make it taste good by itself, but we cannot yet. So we mix it. We make a meatloaf. We use the Vitamix we take the liver, we actually blend it up and turn it into liver paste. It was just
There's a lot of people that have gone pale of just hearing you say that.
But to be fair, I mean, what is ground beef? Ground beef is mashed up meat, right? So then we take organic grass-fed ground, and we just mix them together. We make a meatloaf of sorts. We add a bunch of seasonings, garlic, eggs, blah, 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 onions, all kinds of good stuff. And we eat this super sane, nutrient-dense, awesome meatloaf. And Angela was eating it. She went to the gym to do her eccentric training, and the amount of B vitamins, iron in organ meats, especially liver, is just literally astronomical. We're talking thousands of % of your daily recommended value. And she gets back from the gym. She goes, Jonathan, I felt mighty at the gym. Mighty. She's like, I went up in all weights. And she's like, that liver stuff, man, it's just like, it makes you mighty. So there you go. There's the.
And if you all saw how tiny Angela is, that's kind of funny. It's cute, but it's funny.
But I love that word. It made me feel mighty.
That's awesome. I want to feel mighty.
You do feel well.
Send me liver. Send me the link right now. I need liver in my life.
I need liver in my life. But I actually, folks, I think that is and I will, don't worry, I'm working something out with the company so that we can actually have a cool discount for you, and we'll have packages where it'll be awesome. We'll get it in the SANE store, which if you haven't checked out, there's a sweet SANE store on the site where we just refer you to all of our preferred providers. And at the same time, we get like 1 or 2%. So it's wonderful because you can support the Smarter Science of Slim while getting good stuff. But anyway, we ate organic grass-fed beef liver. We ate organic hormone-free ground. We had some sirloin. It was fabulous. It was nutrient-dense, and it made us feel mighty.
We love you, Jonathan.
Well, thank you, Karen.
I can't think of anything else but beef liver now.
Do you have tips, just high level, that we could apply to the beef liver consumption?
Not right off the top of my head, no.
Fair. All right, so beef liver, mighty, cruises.
Except buy it, cook it, and eat it. That would be my tip.
And actually, another great thing is, and this is not in the SANE store yet, but it should be because I got this recommendation from Jimmy Moore. There was a company called Trinity Hill Farms. So Trinity Hill Farms, props to you, that creates totally sugar-free, totally gluten-free, totally garbage-free, like barbecue sauce, ketchup, steak sauce, blah, 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 sweetened with stevia, or stevia, however you say it, does not have the weird stevia aftertaste, has some erythritol in it, but it's primarily just like vinegar, tomatoes, spices. Good stuff. Not cheap, but good. And we use some of that on the meatloaf. Very good.
Barbecue sauce is on my list of things that I need to do on my blog for recipes because, it's barbecue season here in America anyway, and that is something that I miss, so I assume everybody else does too.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'd be great if you could make us some
SANE
barbecue sauce, because if you need it right now and you have some disposable income, you just search online for, I think it's Trinity Hill Farms, but it's not cheap, but it is good. So if you could find a more economical option for us, Carrie, that would be
I will.
Excellent. Carrie is on it, folks. Next subject, inflammation.
I will never forget that, and I don't remember where I read it now, and I know I've mentioned it on a podcast ages ago, but how sugar and grains, when you eat them, it's like you're rubbing a grater on the inside of all your veins and arteries, because that's the kind of effect that it has on inflammation. I will just never forget that visual. That was probably the one thing that is going to make me stop eating sugar immediately, is because I get that visual every time I go to eat grains or sugar. I get that visual of a microplane on the inside of my arteries, and I'm just like why would I do that?
Arteries.
Yeah.
And actually, and add to that list, Carrie, you're spot on, is these seed oils, or these because anytime part of the reason we just say globally avoid starches and sweets is they come in packages along with these processed garbage oils, like safflower oil, or just like random oils that like vegetable oil. What is vegetable oil? Like, so I was Angela and I were talking about in the car. We're like, what is vegetable oil? Like, it's just, I mean, that seems so sketchy. It's vegetable. It comes from vegetables. Don't ask us what it actually is. It's food oil. Like, what does that even mean? Vegetable oil. It's meat oil. It's the mystery meat you used to eat when you were, in grade school. It's vegetable oil. Anyway, I digress. That also causes much inflammation. And I really briefly wanted to cover 2 quick things that folks could do to help reduce inflammation, which, as Carrie mentioned, is now more and more and more being shown to really be at the root of much of the, for example, heart disease issues we're dealing with. It's not about cholesterol. It's about inflammation. And like, for example, when you have inflammation, cholesterol can build up, but cholesterol is that cholesterol buildup is actually the body's healthy response. It's like a scab. Like, the problem is not, oh God, I have a scab on my hand. How can I get rid of this scab?
It's trying to lubricate what the grater has roughed up.
Exactly. So how do we reduce inflammation? So 2 things. One is, and of course there's many things we can do to reduce inflammation. A sane lifestyle all up will reduce inflammation. But 2 specific tricks, for lack of better terms. One, garlic. Most people don't actually realize this, but garlic is one of the most extremely anti-inflammatory foods in the entire world. And it's delicious. So if you like taste, which I do, like literally if you can, and this is what I do, I don't know if everyone can do this, but go to Costco. In Costco's refrigerated section, they have a 3-pound bag of already peeled and ready to go little clove things, whatever you call them. Cloves. I kid you not, Carrie, because we put them in our meatloaf with the Vitamix. We go through, Angela and I now go through 3 pounds of peeled garlic cloves per week.
You are a freak, Peter. You are a freak of nature, and that's all I have to say on the matter.
It is and here's the crazy thing, Carrie.
Freak of nature.
If you like strong tastes, because like if you eat garlic, I noticed, correct me if I'm wrong, the more you cook garlic, the more its taste goes away. So I now have you can do this, and it's not crazy if you actually try it. Is if you were to take like a half cup of garlic cloves and boil them until they are totally fork tender, you can literally top that with an all natural marinara sauce and just eat it as a snack. And it does not.
You're a freak of nature.
I just don't talk to anyone.
Freak of nature.
But if you like literally that.
You can't talk to anyone?
Well, no, because you just ate
that's
half
me.
cup of
That's
garlic.
me. You just give me a reason to do it.
There you go. You're like, I'm sorry, I just ate a half cup of garlic. I can't
See
talk right now. But like literally, folks, like if you want to actually quantify, go just do some quick research on the web. We're talking orders of magnitude more anti-inflammatory properties than other foods which are talked about from an inflammation perspective. Another big thing we've already talked about a lot is we love seafood. We love fatty seafood. We love salmon. We love sardines. However, I know not everyone can get access to those. At this point, folks, your next best option is going to be a cod liver oil. So it's I'm not a huge fan of supplements. This really, I don't know, you have to kind of squint to call this a supplement because it's cod liver oil. I mean, it's just
oil in a capsule.
It's just oil in a capsule. And if you want to save some money, don't get it in a capsule, get it in the liquid form and add it to your smoothies as a lemon flavor. And if you add it to a smoothie, I'm talking take a tablespoon or 2 per day. You ain't going to taste it. And I actually would urge you to get the liquid form because, again, we want therapeutic doses of stuff. We want to go out of our way to eat more natural, super healthy fats. So I'm talking a tablespoon or 2 per day. If you, for example, go to Costco and you buy their little one, they sell fish oil. They don't sell cod liver oil. Fish oil there's no such thing as fish oil, right? Like, so there's something going on there. Cod liver oil is a step closer to the actual food. So I like that better. It also generally has more vitamins and minerals in it, like your vitamin D. The number of pills you would have to take in 10 grams of cod liver oil, which is what 2 tablespoons would be, is a lot of pills. And I don't want all that, like, whatever the heck they use to make the
gelatin stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that's just, who wants to take 10 pills? Not me. So 2 recommendations to minimize inflammation dramatically. Eat more garlic. It's delicious. Add it to foods. Don't add it to smoothies. That would be disgusting. And then if you're not already trying some cod liver oil. Try some in the next week. I will get some there, and there's a range of there's some really expensive cod liver oil out there. I don't use that kind. I use a more affordable kind. I think you got to look at marginal cost, marginal benefit. I'll get that up in the SANE store. But two things that I've had a lot of success with, wanted to share with the listeners. So,
aren't you proud of me? You saw I posted a sardine recipe.
I know.
Did you see that?
People, were they kind of like, sardines, or were they like, yay, sardines?
We have sardine fans now.
Sardine fans?
We have less sardine virgins in the world now because of that post.
Carrie, I think that's cool. Some people sometimes see any type of sanity as restrictive, but in some ways, actually, if you look at the typical person's diet, they eat about 13 foods. They just cycle them. It's not a high variety diet, right? Eating like pizza, hamburgers, garbage, candy bars. That's not a high variety diet. And actually, when you go SANE and you start looking for SANE foods, like things like sardines, like you actually discover new foods and you actually eat more variety, not less.
I have thousands of leek converts.
Carrie is converting the world to leeks converts.
And now sardines. See? I'm just opening up the world of possibilities to you all.
I love it. Well, certainly, folks, we've got a lot more good stuff to share, and we will not hesitate to share it next week.
Yay!
Ladies and gentlemen, Carrie Brown and Jonathan Bailor back. Smarter Science of Slim podcast. Eat smarter, exercise smarter, live better. Talk with you soon.
Bye.
Wait, don't stop listening yet. If you like the podcast and if there's other ways we can help you, please join us in the Smarter Science of Slim support group, which is freely available at the Smarter Science of Slim website, smarterscienceofslim.com. There you'll find all kinds of free recipes and success stories and just all kinds of fun stuff, like how to help your kids go SANE and just great community content.
And just one last thing before you go, if you wouldn't mind heading over to iTunes and up onto Amazon.com and leaving us a review, and then going over to Facebook and liking us, we would hugely appreciate